नमस्कार दोस्तों और जय हिंद। आप सभी को स्वागत है इन माय चैनल 1971 वॉर बुक सीरीज। दोस्तों, आज हम एक वेस्टर्न फ्रंट के योद्धा के बारे में बात करने वाले हैं एंड दिस मैन इज अ बिट स्पेशल टू मी बिकॉज ही इज वन ऑफ द वेरी फ्यू बंगाली ऑफिसर्स ऑफ द इंडियन आर्मी जिन्होंने एक स्पेशल फ्रंटियर फोर्स के बटालियन को कमांड किया है। He was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the 3rd Battalion of the Rajputana Rifles and had fought on the Western Front close to Jaisalmer in the Battle of Bhai Khan Wala Khu, जहां पे उन्होंने खुद एक ऑपरेशन लीड करके पाकिस्तानी फौज के बहुत सारे सोल्जर्स को कैप्चर किए थे एंड हैड आल्सो सर्व्ड इन मेनी काउंटर इंसर्जेंसी ऑपरेशंस इन द स्टेट ऑफ मिजोरम एंड मणिपुर। उसके साथ उन्होंने द 5th बटालियन ऑफ द स्पेशल फ्रंटियर फोर्स को शियाचेन ग्लेशियर में भी लीड किया है, इंक्लूडिंग कॉजिंग हेवी कैजुअलिटीज टू द पाकिस्तानी साइड। लेट्स नॉट वेस्ट एनी मोर टाइम एंड लेट्स वेलकम द मैन हिमसेल्फ, कर्नल प्रोबीर शूर, टू आवर प्रोग्राम टुडे।
As you said, you will talk a bit about how you were influenced in joining the armed forces as a child.
Yeah, no, I just want to tell you that as a child, I'm born and brought up at a place called Dehradun, and way back in 1961, 62, or even 63, you see, there used to be all Gurkha regimental centers were there. In fact, I remember seeing 55, 58, and then 39, and then 11 GR. All that means 5 Gurkha regimental centers were there. So he used to quite, influenced upon by them, seeing, and my father was working in the Survey of India, so we had our quarters in Survey of India, the state. Okay. And between the Survey of India state and the army cantonment, that is called the Gadi area, there were only, the nalas, rivers and jungles. Mm-hmm. So there was nothing in between these two. Now there's so much of grown up and so many things have come up, but that time there was nothing. So sitting in the veranda in the evening, you used to see, those, we used to talk about some red balloon going up, a green balloon going up. Actually these were, the training, Gurkha Regiment Center training used to go on, and they were firing those illuminating mortar bombs. Okay. So those illuminating mortar bombs, the green, red and yellow, they used to come, this illuminating bombs have got small parachute type thing. So they used to float around in the sky. Mm-hmm. And we as a children, we used to think, the hot balloons going up also. Anyway, okay. Those were the days. Then we used to see these Gurkha journeys, going on a route march, passing through our house very nicely, in a very uniform pattern. They will in the squads and all marching through. So one used to feel so nice of these people, all kadam milake and everything. Wonderful sight. And then on Sundays or holidays, when I used to go to Dehradun market area, you used to see those, Indian Military Academy cadets. Okay. And mind you, they used to come in their lovely suits, grey suits, tie, and those days they used to wear hats also, grey hats, and all in bicycles in a squad wise, so disciplined, and they will come and see some movie or get into some restaurant, which we did much later. But those were the things, which used to inspire me, influence me, motivate me towards the army. And there were so many centers, and as I told you. And then I got an opportunity to visit once, some of our known person had brought something from Calcutta to Dehradun, and I was sent to collect that item. And he was a captain or lieutenant something. So he called me that you come to the officers' mess. So I went to 58 officers' mess. My gosh, I was floored upon. So much, beautiful, like, sentries standing, going inside. You see their anteroom, you see their dining hall, silvers all around, the walls, having the animal heads and all. I mean, it's fantastic. You can't think as a child, of 12 years or so. So these are the things, were motivating factors, I would say. And then I used to always see, I was a great sports lover. Anything give me and I used to play well. So in fact, I represented the Dehradun district in many games. But when you used to see those services people coming, uh, and winning everything in the national those days, services used to win everything, whether football, whether hockey, whether basketball, whether boxing. So you had a fascination for these people. And mind you, in fact, you won't believe that when I went for the SSB after clearing my the written examination, when I went for SSB for the selection in Bangalore, so my GTO is the group task officer. Those who take we are kept for 5 days there. You must be knowing, 5 days, various type of tests and interviews and goes on. So while GTO asked me, it's a normal question to everyone, why do you want to join army?
Right, right.
And can you believe people are talking about motherland saving this, that, and I, like a fool, I said, sir, I wanted to improve upon my sports and games. He said, what? So he got a shock, I said, and he asked me, you sure? What do you play? I said, I play all games, but cricket is the best I play. So the last day when I got selected, there were only two on our batch were selected. So he called me and he said, I wish you the best and I hope you get enough opportunity to improve upon your sports and games. So that was, later I found, the army is actually not like that. You have to do many things and then only the sports and games come. But it was my fad. I went on and whatever opportunity I got, and I played for the services. I captained the services cricket team, and I scored quite a few centuries, including in Delhi, Punjab, Haryana, everyone. In fact, uh, if I show you news cutting, people had come to see Kapil Dev when he came back from in '78 from Pakistan, and that was a match I hammered him and got 124. So everyone, instead of next day in the newspaper, instead of Kapil, it was my name was figuring out everywhere.
Okay.
So this is the way I got motivated and I got into the Indian Army. And another thing, it's nothing much, but I actually wanted to join the Armored Corps because all my the DS and all were there, and they used to say that you join Armored Corps and you are a cricketer and you will do very well in Armored Corps. And I knew our seniors like Colonel Surendranath, General O.P. Sen Gupta, they all had played for India and they were all from Armored Corps and that too 16 Cavalry. So, but unfortunately, my mistake was that I should have opted for some other regiment in the Armored Corps. I opted for 16 Cavalry and the 16 Cavalry went to one of the Defense Secretary's son was our course mate. So he backed that.
Okay.
And I finally got 3 Rajputana Rifles, a wonderful regiment, and known over for his valor right from the Second World War and First World War. And I was in one of the oldest battalion, the 3rd Rajrif, or we used to call it God Zone. So it's known as God Zone. So I got into that, and thereafter it is all story. A story how we came up in the infantry. I started with infantry in Mizoram when Mizoram was burning. I'm talking about
Counter-insurgency operations, right, sir?
yeah, 17 Mizoram. It was really burning. Mizoram, I mean, you could, but what I did, I made friends in Mizos and they became so friendly to me and they even invited me to play soccer for their village. They were having a village versus village match,
Okay.
and in that village,
And I heard that Mizos are really wonderful people.
very wonderful people. They, in fact, I'll tell you just now. I mean, instead of telling all this thing, you can hear this story also. That they told me they knew that I am a footballer also. So they said that, sir, you have to play for our village, Tulungwel village. And the match was against Bakwang village. And the whole Tulungwel village was there to see the match. And we beat Bakwang and I scored the goal. I scored the goal. And later, my gosh, they were all dancing with me. They wanted to give anything. But that kind of a Mizo thing. And I thought, how can these people become, so merciless, so, terror, everything. And so when you, in army, we could go into all this. When you even saw, I've served in Manipur also, Mizoram also, Arunachal also, other than Kashmir. And really, I mean, I don't want to bring the politics here, but you can see that they had something in them. Why did they took up the arms? It is not that they were the default, always in default making, but there were their reasons also. I can now say, while in army, I could not ever open my mouth on such things. But yes, they had certain and very small demands. If you could, as I told you, I just played football with them. The whole village was friendly to me. I sat with them. They played guitar, and you danced with them. The whole village was with you. So this kind of a thing also can be brought out. Anyway, we are going out of the context. What we want to know, and then came. This was 70 end, 70 say October to December 70 end. By then, things were boiling up.
By now you
By
are a
the time we
lieutenant,
moved,
right, sir? Or still a second
pardon?
lieutenant?
Second lieutenant.
Second lieutenant. Okay.
Yeah. At our time, we were commissioned as second lieutenant. Not even lieutenant like nowadays. Nowadays, they are
They
coming
directly
straight away
give lieutenants.
as commissioned as lieutenant, and during their academy period, they are not given the pips, but they are called. They get the salary of second lieutenant. That is the time. So now things have changed much. Our time was different. We had to go through a lot of harsh things, which nowadays people are enjoying, I would say. But they must be having their own difficulties and all, which I should not comment upon. Anyway, and by the time we moved out from Mizoram, I think about April month, it had already started boiling. Because we passed through, and another 2 months if we had gone, we wouldn't have gone. The battalion wouldn't have gone toward the western sector. The battalion would have been kept in the eastern sector only, because we were. But we could just move out. We reached Nasirabad, a place called near Ajmer, Nasirabad cantonment, and by the time we reached Nasirabad, maybe about June, July, or by the time already the preparation had started. We knew that something is going to happen, and in fact, we moved out from our cantonment in October 71. Yeah, October. Yeah, about September, October 71. We moved out for our operational area, that was Jaisalmer. And we moved Jaisalmer. From Jaisalmer, we moved further towards the western side called Ramgarh, which the place Ramgarh was, you may be knowing, the Pakistani brigade, and they had thought of capturing Longewala and then having their breakfast.
Very close to Longewala.
Yeah. So they had thought having breakfast in Ramgarh and lunch at Jaisalmer. That was the story again. Anyway, so we went to Ramgarh, and then finally we reached our defense location in Kishangarh. Kishangarh, there was an old fort, and BSF were manning that fort. A small BOP, and the whole battalion got thing. And we were doing all terrain familiarization and going every day patrolling out, and that was the main thing: terrain familiarization, riding on camels, make
Okay.
sure, we had become perfect in camel riding. Rather than horse riding, we used to really gallop on the camels. So all these things we started doing until and on the 3rd December, the balloons went up. The Pakistani raided those airports. I think you know the 7 or 8 airports, all the border airports of India. And then Madam Gandhi had declared the war, and we crossed over on 4th of December evening. We crossed over the international border on the sector, and at night we attacked a place called Islamgarh Fort.
Okay.
Islamgarh Fort was mainly
So
with
you were
the
leading a
desert
platoon at that
regiment.
time, or you were with the company
No,
itself, sir?
no, I was with the I being the intelligence. So I used to call the IO, intelligence officer of the
Okay.
battalion. So I used to accompany the commanding officer throughout. So I was the commanding officer, and two-prong attack. It was done by the Alpha and Bravo company, and the fort was captured easily. Not much resistance because the enemy ran away from there, leaving everything. So in fact, they had already planned. There were nothing much, the desert ranges were there, which is like BSF of ours. So during, the peacetime, they used to, what you call, protect all these border posts. And before the regular troops comes up. So before the regular troops came up, we had captured Ramgarh. Then of course, from there, the divisional plan was different. They wanted, there's a place in Pakistan on the belt, Karachi to Hyderabad, Pakistani Hyderabad, Karachi, Hyderabad. On the route, there's a place called Rahim Yar Khan, where the rivers, the Sweetwater River is flowing there after the Thar Desert. So I think the div plan was to capture up to that place, Rahim Yar Khan, to cut off Karachi with Hyderabad, and we had to go through Bhagla and all. But unfortunately, on the 4th night, as everyone knows, Longewala was attacked by whole Pakistani brigade, accompanied by a armored regimental regiment, armored regiment. So they were about more than 35 or 36 tanks. But it is a story or whatever thing everyone knows. Of course, not that Gadar film I'm talking. Gadar nahi. What was there was this border film. So that film and the story, this actual facts are totally different. They had so that was they've done in a different way. They've shown, they've taken up the story and then they have written their own way to clear up the thing. It was not that much.
It has a lot of fabrications, the movie itself.
Yeah. If you have gone through anything. Anyway, the Longewala was saved. I would say Longewala was saved, and the Pakistanis suffered heavily there. One could see, there are about 200 vehicles and 30 odd tanks, all had graveyards for them in that area because the Indian Air Force hunters played merry hell early morning, and they were unopposed. There was nothing from the Pakistani air, so they went along, played like a duck shooting. They'd done really duck shooting. They could come down, utilize their bombs, utilize their strafing, and get everything out. So that is the story anyway. But my story was that on the 8th of December, my commanding officer got a job that between Islamgarh Fort and Bhagla, the way to Rahim Yar Khan, there was a post called there was a post called Bhai Khan Wala, and Bhai Khan Wala was to be captured. Though they said that there may be only a section Pakistani has come up there, and so I was given the task to go along with. I was given a platoon, and I took Charlie Company platoon because as a second lieutenant in Mizoram, I had the opportunity to serve with them for about 2 to 3 months. Rest, I didn't know many other battalion, other company or other platoon.
Okay.
So I requested CEO to give me that platoon where I served earlier. So he immediately gave me that platoon, and I was further given. Uh, there was a border post called Shakirewala, which was totally destroyed by our Indian Air Force, and that was held by 3 Jat. So I was told that 3 Jat will give you one section of mortar fire
Okay.
as a supporting to me, and we were also given uh, 10 BSF men along with camels,
Okay.
to move on. So task was to go see Bhai Khan Wala Khu, like if anything is there, capture. Otherwise, hold that position and let us know. So that was the task given, and I made cross country. I did not use that main road and all. I went 15 kilometers cross country through the sandy areas.
15 or
Okay,
50, sir?
1-5,
1 5 kilometers.
1-5,
Okay. Okay.
15, not 50. 50 would have taken much more time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
1-5, but 1-5 also on the sands and desert
Mhm.
takes a lot of time. And that too we had to go, stealthily because we should not have been seen by the enemy. Otherwise, our whole plan would have been jeopardized.
Mhm.
So, so we went through that, and before it was only there was no Google and all. So we had to depend on our compass and map, isn't it? Map marking, compass, and map reading. And doing that, we could reach about a kilometer or 2 kilometers away from that when I thought that we should be now more careful, and we waited for it to become more dark, and then we slowly occupied one of the high sand dunes there.
Okay.
Okay,
So
we
you were setting
occupied
up an
that.
ambush, sir?
No, it was a raid,
Raid.
attack,
Okay. Raid.
not ambush.
Okay.
Ambush, you could have done it because then after going there on the top of that sand dune, uh, we could make out, that we could some noises and all. Not you can't see much thing, but you could see hear, and then slowly we started probing in, sending your patrols left, right, and then we could get to know that enemy is not very far, about 800 to 1000 meters away from us, and they were occupying a post. I we started probing more to get more information, and by the thing it became totally dark. The moon was in the third phase, so the moon should have come back after 12 o'clock at night. Okay, so it was totally dark, and you can't feel. All of a sudden, it started becoming so cold. It was miserably cold, and we were just
At
in
dark,
those.
yeah, it would be very cold.
It was very cold. It was the month of December, 8th of December. Yeah, 8th or 9th of December. Yeah, it was 9th of December. That very cold. So then we saw a jeep coming. So we could make out, that under our sand dune, the hilly top, there is a road, the road which we were talking about, Islamgarh to Bhagla to Raimiarkar. So we could see that road very clearly now because of the jeep coming, and the jeep have no knowledge about that we are watching him. Or in fact, one or two havaldars of mine, they said, "Sir, we'll ambush this now." I say, "Hold on, we can't ambush. Our task is different, and let's see this jeep what they do." So the jeep went and got into that post. So that post was now very clearly known to us.
Okay.
One jeep going, and immediately within half an hour, there's one more one tonner, or you can say a little bigger truck, came again. And this one came, and then there was lot of noise and all, as if dumping of stores, all the dung dung sound, coming up. So so the battle indication started giving that they are may not be fully prepared on this post, but they are preparing that post fully. So they must be getting more defense stores, or even some more troops are coming. So all that. In fact, another half an hour, another truck came. So now I got little worried. I say, my dear, this cannot be only 10 people here. What they said, 10 people. I knew things are now in this. It cannot be like that. And I had one Subedar with me, Shambhuram Saab. I had a talk with him, Shambhuram. Shambhuram said कि साहब ये तो दुश्मन का बड़ा जगह है, इतने सारी गाड़ियां एक छोटे से पोस्ट के लिए 10 आदमी के लिए नहीं आएगी, मैक्सिमम वन टन आएगी खाना देने के लिए या कुछ. बट ये जो जीप आया, इसके बाद एक 1 टन आया, फिर एक और 1 टन आया, and it was getting dark and dark, and another 1 hour, and then another jeep came with the headlights on this time. So you are sure we wanted to probe more, and now as the nights started, things were different. At night, we had already taken up our position. We had made it very defensive position, because if we are attacked, then we can at least give them back, or we can defend ourselves. So we were also prepared for that, whatever digging or whatever we could do. But it was really very cold, very breezy. On the top, it was like storm. My God, it was like storm, desert storm. And slowly the moon started coming out. It was, I think, as I said, it was in the third quarter. So after 11 o'clock night or so, it started slowly you could see. And as so far it was dark, but as the moon started appearing, you could see, those, what you call, the shadows of, those bushes, shadows of, these palm trees and all, which were cagery trees, and it was giving a totally different look. It was not ghostly look, but it was, like scary look.
Yeah.
Okay, because we are not scared of ghosts, but we were definitely scared of the human being who were there with all their weapons and all. So my commanding officer then asked me, what have you? I told him everything. This is the thing. But he was also being pushed by the general officer from the division. What is happening? If he has seen something, why isn't he going in for attack? In fact, once I thought I will go in for attack now, help with anything. And I said, boys, we are ready now to go for attack. Then my Subedar Saab told me, Saab, you are just 20, 21 years old. You have not seen, I have seen 65 war, I have seen earlier, I have know everything. Sir, at night if we go there, we will be butchered by the enemy. We will be either going into the minefield or butchered by the enemy with them, and they are in a much bigger in the strength. So we will be. So you please ask commanding officer to send you more replenishment, reinforcement rather, replenishment and reinforcement. So CO agreed to my thing, and I have been with him for quite some time as his IO. He agreed to that, and he said that I am sending the balance of the whole company to you. So by 4 o'clock, the whole company fetched up, and now there was a Major Saab was there in the company. So some worries for me was over now. So I knew that now, it is not me who will be taking the decision, but there is a Major Saab now. He will. I was, and then Major Saab came and he told me, he saw the positions and all.
So what was the name of the company commander? Major
Janak Raj Rajput.
Okay.
Anyway, so he Major Rajput, he said that yes, we'll go in for the attack, but not now. He said, relax now, nothing till, the first light. Because at present in this moon was also, slowly started, again coming down after, being the bright whole night. By 5 o'clock it started coming down. Anyway, we could still, but he said that attack will be only at 6 o'clock. He said the H hour is 6 o'clock. In the meantime, whatever the task was given, I was given the task to lead the company, having been there in the beginning with my platoon. So I will be leading, and the other two platoons, one will be on my left and one will be behind, where the company commander himself will be there. And exactly at 6 o'clock, we started our move towards the so-called, in army we have a lot of, FUP with this, that marking of, before you go in. But this FUP and all in the actual war, I think it doesn't mean any business. You just take an alignment and tell your, platoon commanders and section commanders that that is a likely enemy company, and we have to go in that direction. Slowly we have to keep a distance between each and everyone, like that. Not that, tape laying and all, which we have been practicing as a cadet and in the battalion. Anyway, we started going in, and everything was calm and quiet. Nothing. Early morning, and it was little, and after the whole night, it was very refreshing. The same breeze was, which was at night, we were shivering. It was giving us, and maybe that we were also charged up a little, that we are going in for a race. But until that so-called, that FUP which we had planned for, there was nothing much. No enemy was also quiet. They were actually waiting for us to, come more closer and closer to them. And at certain time, the early sunbeams started falling on us and on the enemy. And all of a sudden, my scouts stopped. Now the things come, sir. They all of a sudden stopped. I think they could see something. So I was behind them, and I went up a little, and they hush. They say, there is something we can see. It is shining like anything. So I, with my binocular and naked eye, what I could see, that it was a barrel of a machine gun.
Achha.
Like, the sun falling on the, whether it's a machine gun or what machine gun, light machine gun, medium machine gun, I don't know. But it was a barrel-like thing, which was, the sun was falling on that, and it was shining, and it was covered by the camouflage net.
Camouflage net.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So I was the happiest person, Why? That yes, the enemy is there. And whatever I have seen the whole night, whatever I have been giving, passing the information, has come true. No one can blame me. You got it? So that was as a youngster, I thought, no one can, And another 5 minutes, as we went little up, all of a sudden the silence was broken totally, where the enemy brain machine guns started firing from two ends. One was the same. Now I knew that is a brain machine gun, like our medium machine guns. It's a British-made thing, which has coolant also along with in the barrel, and they started firing. My God! And then the case started coming 2-inch mortars.
I mean, this was from the third jar that you got, the 2-inch mortar support.
No.
This
Third jar, so I had not even contacted them. This is the enemy.
Okay.
Enemy 2-inch mortar. Third jar, 81 millimeters mortar.
Okay.
But 2-inch mortar thing is much lesser, about 400 meters and all, but 400 to 600 meters range. Whereas because we came into their range 600 meters, so they started firing 2-inch mortar. Whereas 81 millimeter mortars gives much. They give effective fire only above 4,000 meters, 4 kilometers. So they were much behind us. They were not with us. Okay. So these things have started. The entire battlefield got as if awakened. Totally, everyone is awake. And another thing which I could notice, that no one can say he is a daredevil or anything. Everyone were looking for a cover. No one, I'm telling you, Debdutt, no one wants to die. Life is so important. No one wants to die. And the soldiers, all my, those tough Jawans, Rajrif Jawans, were down on the floor. I know, with the Mother Earth and taking. I too, I'm also behind some bush and all, and started seeing it. In the meantime, another thing happened, that a Jawan comes to me running and he says कि साहब कंपनी कमांडर को गोली लग गई है, और कंपनी कमांडर साहब ने बोला आप कमान संभालो. My God, that was it was not
I
a
mean, a
shock.
second
Not only
lieutenant
that,
taking the task of a company commander.
yeah, yes, and company commander down. So, and for me, वो गोली लग गई मतलब I never thought of injury or wounded. I thought गया, वो तो गया. That thing came into my mind, and I just got up. That was, changed my, total. And I started shouting at my people that all kind of abuses in this life, whatever I had followed, I started, and I said that you, Master Rajputs and Jats, you call yourself brave. You are the one who are going to come up. We are going to see them. How can they kill our company commander? And all of a sudden, we all charged up, and in my mind, I thought that if I can take the rightmost brain machine gun, which was firing from the right in the beginning, it may give me some kind of a success or foothold on them. So I told my Subedar Shambhu Sahib that you take your and start, moving as close as to the enemy before you assault. You don't, because I have to see also. Yes, so many. Can you imagine one company? That means about 120 people plus DSF 10 people. But so you have to make their life was also in my hand. It is not only the enemy, but you can imagine. You have to think that also. You can't do wrong thing. You can't take a wrong step. So I told Shambhu that you start moving as close to the BMG, and then finally charge. Finally charge. But initially, if you start charging, you will get tired and you won't be able to reach. They'll kill you like duck. So start moving as much as you can. And similarly, on the left there was Sohan Saab with another platoon. I told him same, that Sohan Saab, you take on the other side. And in between the gap, I thought if I can take that gap with about 7-8 chaps, then I can go over, in between the enemy defenses. Like, BMG is one side and the rest of the enemy defense on the other side. I can go and, if I can. It was in my mind.
Okay.
So I asked for 8-9 chaps, and they all, eagerly, that time, things were different. They eagerly came up and they said, Sab, and we started moving, stealthily towards that side, taking that gap. If we can take that gap, then I can roll down onto the BMG post. Like I will be over them then. I will be just top of them. Shambhu Sahib is coming from the down, and I will go take the thing and come down from there. Okay. And this side, Sohan is already keeping them busy. He is keeping them occupied.
Okay.
So there was only one LMG bunker which was, coming in my thing, and there was a daredevil called Naik Meer Singh. He said, "Sab, main usko udaunga," and he crawled down to that and he put a grenade inside. So that LMG post was silent. It was silenced by him, and that gave us, quick thing to go up. We now were between the BMG and the command post, enemy command post, and the rest of the thing. And BMG was firing towards Shambhu Sahib, and I was on top of the BMG. And that is the time I told this 9-8 chap that has become quite famous in my battalion, that Bennett lagao and मेरे साथ charge. Bennett लगा हुआ मेरे साथ. And from the top, our war cry is Raja Ramchandra ki jai. So I still say Ramji is with us. What Modi ji is saying, Ramji was with us from 71 war. Okay.
I am having
So we
goosebumps,
shouted,
sir.
pardon?
I am having
So
goosebumps.
and we shouted Raja Ramchandra ki jai and onto them. And from as soon as Shambhu heard this, he was, energized like anything. All he and his boys, they also started charging with Raja Ramchandra ki jai. And things were different. We did not have to reach the bunker. Before that only the white flag came out, the white shirt or something, and they, started showing that white thing on their face. Okay. But we were charged up. We just, and I don't know what we did. We kicked them, but they can you imagine? They were from 28 Baluch Pathans, huge Pathans, and then they fell on my foot. They fell. Mercy, as I said, life is so life is so important. Life is so precious to everyone. These Jawans who were inside the bunker, now they were falling on my feet, both and Baksho. And I don't know why. I don't know. I still say, had I been a Pakistani soldier, they would have cut my tongue and they would have cut my everything. But I'm different. I'm from Indian Army, and I made them prisoner of war. Took their weapon prisoner of war, and and told Shambhu to just keep 4-5 chaps with you, tie up their hands and all, and hold them until. And now I started moving with the rest of the platoon. By the time Sohan was also moving up there, and I started moving towards the command post. That was the thing. Seeing this enemy, my God, they had got not one or two. They must be having 4-5 vehicles. Because I could start seeing, the vehicles starting noise, and they were running, and we were chasing them. They were firing at us and running from in the vehicle, and we were chasing them like I don't know what to. In fact, 2 or 3 of my chaps were bulleted in that place. And one chap, Prahlad Singh, he pushed me out, and he got the bullet. He was sure that the bullet would have hit me, and he pushed me down. I fell down, but the bullet, Prahlad Singh took it on his thigh. So these type of soldiers we had, and that is the time we had taken over the command post. In fact, that post commander ran away. I got real cheesed up. I saw his uniform line. He must have ran in lungi and banyan. So I saw his uniform line. Pardon?
He must have fled in civilian clothing.
Yeah. And I just took that uniform and I took away, in one, I snatched that shoulder title with his badges, Baluch and the star. I just took it away, and that was in my pocket. I could do this. I took over a compass which he had left it. That was also put, and then we started charging those people who were running in the jeep. And that is the place where I got stuck, because they were on the top. And now I was at the down. And I knew if I go and chase them, and I was only having 3 or 4 chaps. That is the time one of my ace company Havaldar Major, Dungaram said, sir, मैं जाता हूँ reinforcement लाता हूँ. And he ran towards, that Sohan Lal's platoon, and he was shot that time. He was shot by the enemy. Bullet went through and through, bleeding profusely. Bullet through and through. I lost, in fact, another chap got bullet there, Harnarayan Singh. But my dear, 7 of our chaps got bullet, including the company commander, but none of them died. Not a single guy died. Hats off to the doctor, Dr. Pruthi, who came running after I gave the, success signal. I confirmed on radio set to commanding officer that we have got 24 prisoners of war and huge arms and ammunition
Okay.
and three jeeps gathered on Japanese jeep. I used to love driving those days those gathered jeeps for a few days. Commanding officer had given me. He said, "You have got this, so you can drive as long as you want." so, so anyway, these are all the other side of talk, and
This was on
we
9th December morning, right?
this was on 10th
10th
of December, early morning.
Early morning. Okay.
10 o'clock, 10 or 10:30, I spoke to commanding officer, and then he moved a full battalion, a full company, Alpha company, as reinforcement because anytime counterattack can come. So we moved another company, Alpha company, with Major Kalam Singh. By the time Major Rajput has also got his wound, properly bandaged and all. And in the meantime, our RMO, Regimental Military Medical Officer, Captain Pruthi, HS Pruthi, he came also running. Came the RTOPs, Major Kalo and Major Captain Balwan. They also came to start targeting the RT. I forgot to tell you one thing, that when they were started, BMJ and all, and when I wanted to go in from that there, I could not have gone in other than that had the fire support come to me. So before that, I had called three jars,
Okay.
mortar, and I had that mortar forward controller. He was also a Naik Bhavar Singh. He started, bringing bomb. Initially, the mortar were, not positioned correctly. Matlab, their bombs were not coming into up to that post. They were short. They were falling short. So we told them, the three-jar people ran for the next. When I told them you have to come another 1 kilometer towards us, they ran with their mortars. Hats off to them. Another battalion helping, another battalion, another company's, mortars helping another company's, company. So that is the army. That they three-jar mortars came another kilometer, literally running, and then they started. And my MFC, though he was a Naik Bhavar Singh, a Rajput soldier, but he had just come back from the mortar course and getting a alpha grading. So he did a wonderful job by bringing in the mortar bomb directly on the BMG post and directly on the command post. Excellent shooting, and that gave me the fire support which I could, infiltrate between these two and get into the top of the BMG. So I forgot to tell you that. And also when we had made a MMG fire base, like a company has got two MMGs, so I put both MMG together along with the 2-inch mortar to bring maximum fire support. My aim was all towards that BMG. That if I can capture that BMG, in my mind, as a second lieutenant of 20 years plus, in my mind, that I knew that if I can get that BMG, it will be a fateh, but it was not the fateh. But at least I could, by taking that BMG, there was, damadole in the enemy. Enemy didn't know what to do then. They started running helter-skelter. So at least I demotivated them. Instead of they firing back to us, they started running in their vehicles. And so I can only say the Indian army is always better than Pakistani army in this case. They could not even defend their post. They started running away because just after seeing that BMG and 11 Baluchis were captured by me, they thought there's no point, And then we captured, few more weapons. Totally, I think we had captured 2 BMGs, both the BMGs, 1 2-inch mortar, 24, all, they didn't have any Pakistani ordnance. So these are all US made and Chinese made.
Okay.
Chinese made and US made. Rifles, automatic rifles, and 3 KZ jeeps. All jeeps were, I told you, KZ were Japanese jeep. 2 tractors. They used to use tractors also for, I think, fetching food or I don't know, whatever they used to do. So this was the Bhai Khan Wala operation. I think in a nutshell, whatever I could mention, I have done.
This itself is like a movie, sir. What I can say, scene. Like I was imagining
Yeah.
the entire battle when I was listening to you.
I thought you wanted to know about something on Siachen,
Yes,
isn't
sir.
that?
I wanted to know a bit more about your part in the Siachen conflict. I think you are the only Bengali officer to command a battalion there.
That I don't know. That you may be knowing better. But yes, I was commanding at Siachen at the heights of between 20,000 to 22,000 from the sea level. And under me, it was a central glacier, which is to be called. And under me, there were 21 small or big posts, including 4 company posts, company headquarters. And then we had satellite posts. And in Siachen Glacier, it is Saltoro ranges of Karakoram. Karakoram actual place is Saltoro ranges of Karakoram and Siachen. You know what is the meaning of Siachen? In Ladakhi or Chinese, Sia means roses and Chin means Desh. So, so it is the Gulabo ka Desh in
Gulab
Siachen. Yes, the country of roses. So it is actual meaning, but the area becomes full. Where we were serving, it is much below the the Nubra and this Siachen actually is the valley. Siachen Valley is the Nubra Valley, Shiok Valley, where where also the Shiok River and Nubra River gets totally frozen during winter. And the entire area becomes totally black because after it gets filled up and then it starts slowly melting around June,
Okay.
and then you see the totally black area. What is the black? These gulab rose plants, which were covered with this snow, they when the snow melts, these black totally burnt rose plants start coming up, and then see the nature's beauty. Then in next 1 month only, they start sprouting, new leaves start coming, new plants again start growing, and in by July end and August, you see buds all over, and then the roses, and at some time you see that that valley is full of roses, and that is how it is called Siachen.
Siachen.
Chin is Desh and Sia is rose. Not many people know about it, so I
Yeah,
thought
even I
I'd tell
didn't
you.
know it, sir. I didn't.
Hmm.
So, which unit were you commanding, sir, in Siachen?
Siachen, yeah. My base camp was at about 11,000 feet, 11,000. And my posts were, as I told you, it started all over from 17,000 to 22, 23,000 feet. And about 21 total small and big posts we were covering. At Siachen Glacier, you don't find, plain area all over. You may find about, where companies were there. Companies means maximum 30 to 40 people or something, or 50 people, not more than that. Because the place is, you don't get space. What you see only snow and rocks. And within those rocks, you have to find out some place. You had to have that kind of post also where you have only got 4 men, only 4 total, and a small place, say by 10 by 12, and in that 10 by 12, can you imagine? In that still, each and every place normally we used to keep an officer. So officer strength is very low, but still we used to keep. So to keep 17 places, officer is very difficult. So at least 8-9 places we used to keep officer, and so in 10 by 12 place, you can have maximum one tent for. Tent means those are all snow tents, not a normal tent you will die. Snow tents, which even a candle, if you lit inside, it will get, heated up. And these are the places where snowing is totally all through. Every time it is snowing only. Very hardly any time you find when there is, there is no snowfall or sun coming out, and that is the time. But otherwise, it keeps on snowing and snowing. So in that 10 by 12, you have to have a small cookhouse kind of a thing. At least those tin food has to be warmed up. At least you have to have drinking water. From where will you get drinking water? By boiling up those snow. Snow gets melted, and then you drink that water. And similarly, it is what should I, pathetic life. But if one thinks, no one I think speaks on these things. But they are all talking Siachen difficult. What? In these places, I tell you, and then to burn these, you can only burn the kerosene cooker. There is no wood, there is no coal. Am I correct? There is no coal, there is no wood. It is only kerosene cooker, and for the kerosene cooker, you need kerosene. How do you take the kerosene? Helicopters or airdrops may go only up to at about 15,000, 16,000 feet. At the base, they will go up from 11,000. They may take it up to the 17,000 height and dump it. But from 17 to 22 and
to
20.
burn the fuel, and oxygen is scarce.
No, but 17 to 22 or
Okay.
23,000. Each kerosene barrel, those jerrycans. Who will lug it? Who will lug it? There is no porter. No porter will go there. So it is all our Jawan. It is all our Jawan. If you have to live there, you have to carry your own kerosene jerrycan. If you have to live there, you have to carry your own ration there. If you have to live there, how will you get otherwise? Either the helicopter will drop those, leave those things here, or the airdrop come and airdrop will go through. There is a dropping zone, but from the dropping zone to this place, how many feet you have to climb up? Sometimes, one starts thinking, ki, chodo yaar, khayenge nahi. But then, what to do? This is also a fun, to go down, lug it, bring to the post, warm it. But this is, and then over and above, enemy shelling, enemy firing, continuously going on, continuously. Who says the war is not there? Continuously. They call it, the highest battlefield in the world, Siachen Glacier. And one is that, and one then, the nature's, anytime avalanche, anytime, those, the breeze, I won't say wind, they will, take away everything. They will throw you away, the avalanche. Bhim post of the Guard Battalion was completely wiped off at 23,000 feet because of an avalanche. The avalanche just came and swept them away, totally. There's nothing left. All 14 bodies were, lying left and right because they had gone with the avalanche. Weapon, ammunition, the huts, tents, everything gone. But I proudly say one thing, that my boys from the 5th Battalion, the Special Force Frontier, they went up and they not only, recovered the bodies of those 14 people, but they recovered each and every weapon. Ammunition, it was not possible, so much of ammunition. But they recovered each and every weapon, whether it is MMG, whether it is mortar, whether it is
Everything.
so hats off to my boys, and hats off to Indian Army, hats off to the Special Force, everything. Students.
So you're commanding
Siachen,
Special Frontier Force 5 Battalion.
Yeah, I was commanding, not Rajrif, but I was commanding Special Frontier Force there. They were made of different metal. They were made of different metals. And we had our different kind of, very sophisticated weapons also, like we had Grad P. those rocket of Russian Grad P. The rockets, each rocket, when they used to move into the enemy bunkers or forts, after they used to, like fire onto them, the whole area used to, shake. The whole area for 2 minutes used to shake, and it is not them. They only, did bad, but we have inflicted lot of casualties and a lot of damage, destruction. We used to see that. So this was, but it for 6 to 9 months it becomes very difficult. I could not keep any officer or even Jawan above on the top for more than 45 days. After 45 days, we used to have a rotation. Then the fresh troop used to go. Fresh troop. You used to get all kind of. They say that every time, the best of the food is going. What going? Those packeted foods and the tin food. We get fed up of eating that. We get fed up. You feel good, when you're sitting in a air-conditioned room and enjoying that. But over there, it is impossible. Your food habits go there. And I told you, in the 10 by 12, not only has to be a small tent for a kitchen, the very small tent for living, a small tent they may give it for the officer separately, but also there has to be a place where they can, go for their, toileting. Isn't it? That's a must. Your body is made such that. So you have to defecate, isn't that? So it is in fact, as the commanding officer, I had been to all my posts. That is the biggest thing. And I tell you, to climb, if mountaineers, they climb, those areas which they know, those are, ropes are being laid, everything. But in our place, we cannot do that, because if it is known to enemy, then those places will be bombarded. So we have to keep on changing our routes and keep on. And at places, the vertical ice walls come vertical for about 800 meters or 1000 meters. Vertical means may not be 90 degrees, but about 80 to 85 degrees, which climbing is beyond anything. It's so very difficult. You have to totally, rope yourself, and your arms should be very strong. Your shoulders should be very strong to take you. How much you can go, it's up to you. And one had to wear all these crampons, and you have to, because you can't walk on the snow with normal boots. So always, the snow boots with crampons. Crampons, no? Those Kata Wala, which grips into the icy thing. So these are the
It's a
things.
wonderful experience of working there.
Yes.
I think.
Yes. All. And even I had some wonderful experience when I was fighting these Mizos and Manipuris. There also. I mean, everything, if I speak to straight away, it will become a big thing. You won't be able to digest everything together. But those were the days also, Manipur. And in Manipur, I was posted as a GSO2 operation, as a staff officer to the commander, sector commander.
This was after Siachen, sir?
No, much earlier, as a major.
Okay.
As a major. 86.
Okay.
86, 87, as a major. So I was the staff officer, operation and intelligence to the commander, sector commander, like a brigade commander, sector commander. And so one day commander told me that, you are an infantry officer, you have taken part in 71 war, so tu itna sab intelligence report lata hai, you pass it on to battalion, and we don't get anything. So what you do, you get the best of the men from, we had 4 battalions from the battalion, and make your own one commando platoon.
Okay.
And when you get such very important what do you call information or intelligence, instead of giving it to the battalion, why don't you yourself go and raid and get it? so it, it made me, in fact, whole day busy. In the morning hours, during the office hours, you do as a staff officer, and then you collect the intelligence information, make your team little bit of training because these were not known to everyone, and then look for what you call, uh, huh, then work on those intelligence, and at night go for raid yourself with those people, and and three places I got success there also. Three places I could get these those days PLA was in a big, and now also PLA is in a big, the PLA Supremo Manikanta Singh. I picked him up from his hideout. He was hiding there. Then I could get another chap of NSCN called Sergeant or Lieutenant Ming Tao. He was hiding in a hotel room, and another chap called Corporal Ning Tham So. I picked him up from a local bus while you know doing the checking of the bus on a genuine information. I only went only when I got a genuine information. Anyway, so these were also Manipur.
I mean, I think this must be due to your experience as an intelligence officer that had helped a
Yes,
lot.
yes, to some extent. And I used to interrogate myself. Like when I didn't know the language, so I used to keep chap. That chap, in fact, had become a more or less a what do you call interrogator himself. He initially started seeing me, and he was a Manipuri, and but he was full of josh and energy. I had picked him up. He was in NCC also, and unfortunately, he said that he did try for army two, three times, and he always got rejected. So, so he used to take extra, initiative. I used to sometimes tell him that we are in a protected areas. We are not bothered about. But you are living into your home, and tomorrow say someone comes and so I used to be worried about him. So I used to tell him that you enter my place only when nobody is seeing you. You enter the gate, and then during operation or interrogation, throughout you keep yourself like covered. I don't want to see you. He had become a very good interrogator. He used to get, and it becomes easier now when you know the language. He knew, how I interrogate. Then I used to give him the lead point. I used to give him the lead. Let's see, this chap has been doing this thing earlier, or this. I used to read a lot about them, and then and when you tell him all this thing, he will say yes, 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 yes. So he feels that that the interrogator knows everything about
Okay.
something what CBI is doing, isn't it? Something of the CBI or the ED, or they are the national type of interrogators they do. So we used to do on our own. We used to learn also sometimes, and uh, good fun. I would say good fun. Play cricket, play tennis, play golf, and do all these things. As long as your family is allowing you. At times, I had never told my family that in Manipur my family used to be with me because that time I was married earlier. At Siachen, family had no chance, so not to order. But she didn't know that. She knew that I only go at night for interrogation, but she never knew that I also go for operation at night. Only one day she came to know, and then you can imagine that what must have happened at home. तो ये सब कहानी है. Over a period, I don't know whether I will ever get an opportunity to at least what I could tell you, if you can pen down something and then get it approved by me, and then we can. I wish the people know that what is Siachen and what is.
That will happen, sir. I mean,
Pardon?
that will happen, of course.
Yeah. Okay, Devduti.
Okay, sir. So it is
Uh,
a real pleasure and
Nice,
honor to talk
nice
to you.
talking to you.
And learning
Nice
so
talking
much.
to you.
Like I said to you, I had goosebumps hearing about that battle of Bhai Khan Wala.
Yeah. Anyway, if I have been to some of your help in your thing,
It is a massive
delighted.
help, sir. It is. And
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
recording all of these things so that people get to know, it is a massive thing, sir, itself.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, sir. Bye.